My mother stood up at the head of the table, champagne glass raised, and smiled at my sister. "I want to toast the one who truly made it," she said, "the one who had the courage to build something of her own." 23 people turned to look at Claire. My sister glowed. I sat 3 feet away, invisible. The waiter placed the check at the center of the table. $5,100. No one reached for it. I slid my card across the white linen without a word. The table went quiet. My brother-in-law whispered something to Claire. My aunt looked down. Mom raised her glass higher, as if nothing had happened. Was I funding my own humiliation, or buying the last word? I smiled, signed the receipt, left a 20% tip. 3 days later, my sister texted me. She needed $50,000. And that's when I finally understood what that dinner was really about. Where are you watching from, and what time is it there? Drop it in the comments. And if you've ever been underestimated by your own family, hit that subscribe button. You're going to want to see how this ends. Let me take you back. I grew up invisible. Claire was 3 years older, charismatic, stylish, the kind of person who walked into a room and changed its temperature. I was the quiet one. Straight A's, scholarship winner. First in our family to graduate college without debt. Mom came to one of my award ceremonies. She came to all 12 of Claire's pop-up shop launches. I didn't complain. I just worked. After graduation, I took a job in financial analysis. 60-hour weeks, brutal managers. I learned fast and climbed faster. Claire became an entrepreneur. That's what she called it. Her LinkedIn said CEO. Her LLC filing said 0 employees. She posted constantly. Aesthetic flat lays. Motivational quotes. Building my empire. I posted nothing. I was too busy actually building. By 29, I was clearing 6 figures. Bonuses. Equity. A portfolio that didn't need a ring light. Claire's tax return that year, according to public filings I'd later pull, showed $9,200 in income. But she looked successful, and in our family looking was enough. I learned early to keep records. Every email, every bank transfer, every Venmo request. I'm not sentimental. I'm careful. And that carefulness, that quiet documentation, would become my armor. The day after that dinner, I pulled up my files. I wanted to see something. I wanted to see exactly how much being invisible had cost me. What I found made my hands go cold. 3 days after the dinner, Claire texted, "Coffee tomorrow? Miss you." We met at her favorite cafe, the kind with $12 lattes and succulents on every table. She ordered first. Then she pitched. "I'm expanding," she said. "New product line. Huge opportunity, but I need capital." I waited. 50,000. Just a loan. 6-month turnaround, maybe less. I sipped my coffee. "Do you have a business plan?" Her smile tightened. "I have projections." "Can I see them?" "It's not about spreadsheets. It's about vision." I put my cup down. "It's always about spreadsheets." She leaned forward. "You paid $5,000 for one dinner. This is 50 for my future. What's the difference?" "The difference," I said, "is a business plan." Her eyes narrowed. "I don't need a plan. I need a sister." The door chimed. My mother walked in, not a coincidence. Mom sat down, didn't order anything. "I'm glad we're all here." She looked at me. "Claire told me what she's building. It's incredible, and family invests in family." I felt the walls close in. "After everything we did for you growing up," Mom continued, "this is a small ask." I asked again, "Can I see a written agreement? Terms, timeline, collateral?" Claire's face went hard. "You don't trust me?" "I trust documents." She stood up. "I need an answer by Friday. Don't make me tell the family you said no." The door swung shut behind her. Mom followed without a word. I sat there alone, $12 latte going cold. The threat was live. I said no. I texted Claire on Thursday. "I can't do 50,000 without a formal agreement. Happy to discuss terms if you'd like to put something in writing." By Friday morning, the family group chat was on fire. Typical. She's always been selfish. Too good for family now. My cousin piled on. My aunts joined. Even my dad, who'd been divorced from Mom for a decade and usually stayed neutral, sent a private message. "Is it really worth dividing everyone?" Claire posted an Instagram story. Vague, pointed. "Sometimes the people closest to you show their true colors." The comments flooded in. Hundreds of strangers supporting her. Dozens of family friends. I refreshed the thread. "Remember when she didn't even come to Claire's pop-up?" I had come. I'd bought 2 items, but the narrative was set. I sat on my couch, phone in hand, and felt the doubt creep in. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I was cold. Maybe I was the villain in their story. I opened my banking app, hovered over the transfer screen. 50,000. It would hurt, but I could afford it. My thumb hung over the button. Then I stopped. I opened my files instead. 7 years of records. Every loan. Every request. Every promise. I started to read, and I realized something. I hadn't lost the family. I'd been losing money to them all along. I keep a personal spreadsheet. Every dollar in, every dollar out. I filtered by Claire's name. The first entry was from 2018. $1,200. Rent, she'd said. Emergency. Just this once. Never repaid. 2019. $3,400. Website development. She was going to launch an e-commerce store. Professional, sleek, ready to scale. The site never went live. 2020. $2,800. Trade show booth fee. She'd sent me the invoice. Official looking. Urgent. The event got canceled. She never offered a refund. 2021. $8,500. Inventory. This was the big one. She was ordering product. She just needed a bridge loan until her supplier payment plan kicked in. The products never sold. At least not that I ever saw. I scrolled down. Every line item was the same. A story, a promise, a reason, and then silence. I added them up. $34,600. Not $1 repaid. Not one apology. Not one follow-up. I sat back. I wasn't her ATM. I was her pattern. And patterns don't stop on their own. I closed the spreadsheet. My hands were steady. But I hadn't seen everything yet. That $34,000? That was just what I'd given her. I hadn't looked at what she'd taken. Claire didn't wait for my answer. She told the family I'd already agreed. That I'd promised her the $50,000 at coffee, then backed out. Mom confirmed it. She gave her word, then changed her mind. I was there. I wasn't surprised, just tired. Then it escalated. A cousin who works in local media mentioned a feature she was writing. Small Business Spotlight. Claire's story is so inspiring. Overcoming obstacles, you know? The subtext was clear. I was the obstacle. On Monday, I got a LinkedIn message. The account had no photo, no history. Just a name I didn't recognize. Did you know your analyst has a history of financial manipulation within her own family? My stomach dropped. It was sent to my profile. Public. Anyone could see it. I reported it, deleted it, but I took a screenshot first. That night, my mother left a voicemail. Her voice was cold, clipped. You're breaking this family. I hope you're happy. I wasn't happy, but I was paying attention. 2 days later, I received an email, a scanned PDF. Subject line, per our agreement. It was a promissory note, signed by me, $50,000 due in 30 days. I stared at the signature. It was close, but it wasn't mine. I'd never signed anything, and that's when I realized this wasn't about money anymore. It was about control, and I was done being controlled. I pulled up every document I'd ever signed. Mortgage, passport scan, W-2s, employment contracts. I compared the signatures side by side. Mine loops to the left on the last letter. The one on the promissory note loops right. Small difference, but consistent. Then I checked the metadata. Every PDF has a creation date buried in the file properties. The note had been created 4 days ago, after the coffee meeting. After I'd said no, I ran a basic image analysis. The signature was a copy-paste from an old Venmo screenshot she'd probably saved. Forged. Then I did something I'd been avoiding. I looked up Claire's business. Her LLC was public record. I pulled the state filing. Total revenue reported for 2022. $0. Outstanding liens. $18,340. I kept digging. There was a court judgment. Public access. $12,000 to a creditor. Still unpaid. And at the bottom of one loan document, a name I recognized. My mother. Co-signer. I closed my laptop. Everything made sense now. Claire wasn't building a business. She was building a lie. And I was supposed to be the collateral. I had the proof. The question was, what was I going to do with it? I went back through Claire's Instagram. Designer bags. First-class boarding passes. Rooftop brunches with 10-course tasting menus. It looked like success. But I knew the numbers now. $9,000 in income doesn't buy that lifestyle. I pulled her credit report. Legally, with her SSN from an old shared insurance form. It was a disaster. 2 maxed cards. A car lease she'd defaulted on. the $12,000 judgment I'd already found, and those 2 co-signed business loans. Both in default. Both with my mother's name on the line. I sat back and let it settle. Mom didn't love Claire more. She needed her to succeed, because she'd bet her own retirement on it. That dinner toast replayed in my mind. The one who truly made it. It wasn't pride. It was desperation. If Claire failed, Mom lost her credit, her savings, maybe her house. So I became the solution. The silent one. The stable one. The one who always paid. I wasn't family to them. I was an exit strategy. And once I saw that, everything shifted. I wasn't angry anymore. I was clear. And clarity, I've learned, is the most powerful thing you can have. Now I knew exactly what to do. I booked 2 consultations. One with a family law attorney. One with a CPA. I brought the binder. The attorney looked through it for 11 minutes without speaking. Then she looked up. You have a very strong case. Forgery. Fraudulent misrepresentation. Possible defamation. What do you recommend? Give them a chance to make it right first, formally. I nodded. And if they don't? Then we file. The CPA was blunter. $34,000 in undocumented loans. If you wanted, you could claim those as gifts on your taxes and issue her a 1099 for income. She'd owe taxes on money she never repaid. I didn't want that. I just wanted a boundary. One that had teeth. I went home and drafted an email. Subject line. Outstanding loans and fraudulent document. I attached 3 files. The loan history. The signature analysis. The forged note metadata. I kept the tone calm, professional. No caps lock. No exclamation points. Just facts. I outlined 2 options. 1. A signed repayment agreement. Manageable terms. No interest. 2. I file a civil claim and turn the forged document over to authorities. I gave them 72 hours. I read it twice. Then I hit send. It was 6 a.m. It took 39 minutes to get a response. The response came from my mother. We need to meet in person. Let's put this to rest. I agreed, but I set the terms. Neutral location. A conference room at my attorney's office. Mediator present. Recorded. With everyone's consent. They agreed. The meeting was set for Thursday at 2 p.m. I arrived 15 minutes early. I brought one thing. The binder. Claire and Mom arrived together. No lawyer, no binder. Just emotion. We sat down. The mediator introduced herself, explained the process, started recording. Mom opened. How can you do this to your own family? I didn't answer. I slid the binder across the table. Tab 1. Claire opened it. Loan history. Every date, every amount, every unfulfilled promise. Her face went pale. Tab 2. Signature analysis. Side by side. The metadata report. Mom's jaw tightened. Tab 3. Business filings. 0 revenue. $18,000 in liens. Tab 4. The court judgment. $12,000. Unpaid. Tab 5. The co-signed documents. Mom's name. Twice. Silence. Claire tried first. This is documented, I said. She switched tactics. You're really going to lawyer up against your own sister? You forged my signature, I said. What did you think I'd do? Write another check? Mom's voice cracked. I didn't know You co-signed, I said. You knew enough. Claire stood up. Fine, I'll go public. I'll tell everyone what kind of person you really are. I stayed seated. Go ahead. I've already sent this binder to my attorney. If you make a public statement, you'll be making it under oath in a defamation countersuit. She sat back down. The mediator spoke. Is there a proposal on the table? I turned to Claire. $200 a month. 10 years. No interest. Signed agreement. Notarized. She stared at me. Or I file Monday morning. Mom looked at Claire. Claire looked at the table. After 4 minutes of silence, she signed. I thanked the mediator, signed my copy, stood up, and walked out. I didn't feel victorious. I felt free. The first payment arrived 31 days later. $200. On time. The second one was late by a week. The third one didn't come at all. I didn't chase it. I didn't send reminders. It wasn't about the money anymore. Over the next 6 months, things shifted. Claire's Instagram changed. The aesthetic posts slowed down. The motivational quotes stopped. She updated her LinkedIn, excited to join Verde Marketing as marketing coordinator. A real job, real income, real hours. The comments were supportive. No one mentioned the CEO title. Maybe they'd forgotten. Maybe they never cared. I didn't gloat. I didn't share the binder. I didn't sub-post. I just moved forward. Mom reached out 3 months after the meeting. A text. Short. Careful. Can we get coffee? I said yes. We met at a different cafe. No ambush this time. She didn't apologize, but she asked how I was doing, and she listened when I answered. It was small, but it was something. I set a new boundary that day. I'll see you at holidays. I'll be polite. But I'm not your bank. I'm not your therapist. And I'm not Claire's backup plan. She nodded. We finished our coffee. She paid. I started redirecting energy. The mental space I'd spent managing family drama, I gave to something else. I opened a donor-advised fund, named it after my grandmother, the one person in the family who'd believed in me when I was young. First-generation college students, kids who worked nights and weekends, kids who kept quiet and kept going. I contributed $18,000 the first year. 12 students received scholarships. Claire's payments still come. Sometimes. 200 here, 100 there. I don't chase the gaps. I don't need the money, but I keep the agreement in my files, because principles matter. I used to think silence was weakness. Now I know it's strategy. I used to think family meant obligation. Now I know it means boundaries. And I used to think that $5,000 dinner bill was the most expensive thing I'd ever paid. I was wrong. The real cost was years of self-doubt. Years of being small so someone else could feel big. That refund? Priceless. So here's my question for you. Have you ever been your family's ATM? How did you finally say no? Drop your story in the comments. I read every single one. And if this resonated, hit subscribe. You're not alone. This story is a fictionalized dramatization and is not legal or financial advice. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.